Check, check, check. Is this thing on? Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. We're going to break it down quick for you and show you what we see happening here for Bitcoin on the docket. Making a little bit of an ascending triangle here at the bottom, but those are usually bearish. They're 50% patterns. When you come into them from the bottom, usually go down. When you come into them from the top, usually go up. You know, they kind of take the momentum, generally speaking. Let's take a look at Bitcoin to see what's happening. I was watching this 5-minute above the 200 moving average. Normally, I would trade this, but on a Saturday morning, I would have reservations from doing that. Also, just the lack of movement, lack of ability to get above resistances, kind of the slow drain starts to reveal this possibly as, you know, a bear flag. It's going to send itself lower just like the last time. And the trend is now kind of beginning to become a lower trend, right? And we're getting closer and closer to the daily 200 moving average. And so that's likely going to be our destination as we continue to go lower unless we get some type of reversal bounce. And I've been looking for them. I'm really good at identifying them. I found this one. We found this one. But each time we saw that we got to key levels and resistance that we're just unable to get back above. And we would hit them and flop right back down. So before we hit these same movements above the 200 moving average, boom, flag, and we get the continuation. And then here we got a lot of continuation. Ever since here, you know what I mean? The bears are in control, and we're continuing to make lower highs and taking out a giant low too right there. That was a big deal when we took out 112,000. It kind of told you were going back into this job. And then that says, do you ever come back to test this low, though? Now you're entering into this area. You see, that's a new range. That's an old range. If you enter an old range, you can come back to the bottom of that range. So Bitcoin's starting to play some games. And it's starting to look like it could be a low, so it's we're either at the precipice of heavy fear, or they want to make everybody believe this could be the end of the rally. Like they keep, this rally, they brought it here every time. They want you to think they're going to kill it, and then they rip it. Every single time. It's been a vicious, vicious rally. It's almost, it's like Wall Street got their hands on Bitcoin. Now we've got it's like, it seems to be way more manipulated than it used to be, or just, and again, you could still say, well, TA plays out, and it does. That's an Adam and Eve double top, and things are going the way they're supposed to go. So it is what it is. Like, I mean, the warning signs are always there in technical analysis, whether they manipulate the market or not. That's what I try to explain to people. So anyway, let's break down our top-down analysis for BTC, see if there's anything possible coming, but they got me weary. They got me just observing for a bit here because that's just, it is what it is. Big hit last Friday on Ethereum, and since then I've been quiet on Bitcoin. I didn't hit any big shorts. I didn't take a nasty short. I've been kind of watching. I took a couple scalps to the upside. We made some fun gains, but then it's also been some sideways, stopped out of break-even trades. Shout out to Sammy, to all the Buckeyes in the chat. God bless you, man. Shout out to Andrew Yurkovic, and God bless you. Hope you guys do well. As college football starts this weekend, is that what's going on? Yeah. God bless you guys. Ohio State Buckeyes, I believe, if you're from out of town and you don't know what he's talking about. So I'm going to remove the moving averages just for a split second. We're going to look at price action like we do. We're going to identify some key levels. So support and resistance at 73,008 right there on the weekly. Bang. We're going to close that monthly candle tomorrow night. It looks absolutely disgusting. That is a tweezer top on the monthly. That's bearish. That's the beginning of a bearish close. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. This could definitely be the top of the market. I mean, it has been every single time. I've never seen tweezer tops on the monthly that doesn't resemble a top. And a big top. Maybe it's a little pullback like this, and we get like just one of these, 135, 140K, and then we call it a day. GA is TA. I've never seen TA just do what it wants. We were in this flag. This is starting to show that there was a chance, and this week everything that ended. All this ended when this candle turned so red. So there was still a chance just last week. That's why this week kind of stinks. It was like this week's where the TA says no way. There was a chance last week, and I'm always open-minded, but the probabilities close once certain things don't happen. So that monthly close is not a good look. The only good thing I'll say about the monthly close is that you're fine. You're still in a rising wedge, and there's some hope, some way. A green candle could close above it on the next month. You have a green September, which is rare, right? Almost never happens. So now we have to have a green September to save the day, Rate cuts might not come in. It's almost telling me no rate cut because it's like, it's foreshadowing something, right? In a way. Show me the charts and I'll show you the news. Nasty downtrend, everyone freaking out. So then you pull a Fibonacci here, and you're looking at a $92,000, $93,000 Bitcoin. I mean, they bring it there, they're going to get once they break 100K, people are going to say that the rally's over, and the bull run's over. It's cooked. So, and what amazing if they do that and they rip it. So we'll be here because we show up every day and we go out the market. So somehow, some way, we will find it because I've learned that consistency is how to win. If you're not sure how to win, just be consistent. You'll look back years from that day you decided to be consistent, and you'll be like, somehow I'm winning. It will be pretty apparent to you what you did. It'll be because you became very consistent. And it's not the only thing you have to do. You have to work. You have to have strategies. You have to remember. You have to read. You have to engage the brain. But being consistent will be, I'd say, 80 to 90% of the game. So there's still a chance, but to me, I got to be honest, I've never seen tweezer tops close in the weekly, the daily, or the monthly and have it be a good look. Like 95% of the time, maybe even 99%. It's a dump. So this is foreshadowing a dump for Bitcoin. And at the very least, back to monthly support there at $102,000. So maybe we hold 102. Maybe we come back just to 102. But so I'm not trying to be the bearer of bears news. I just got to show you what I'm seeing. Some say, well, we're still in the flag. It's this big. And I say, no way. You've lost the trend. I'm very keen about my trend lines. And they've helped me become very accurate in my TA because when everyone else is like, I'm like, no. We lost the trend. Let's stop playing games. The candle fell outside. The 3 candles that were making a beautiful line. And that's not happening. Back at this idea, you'll see, okay. Now, I'm always open-minded because support and resistance is coming into play here on the 2-week chart. Resistance, resistance, resistance. We're right there. There's some support at 108. 108.5 has a lot of people very interested. 108,005. And so if we have enough of the world interested, maybe there's a chance. But right now, it just doesn't. You don't feel the buzz. You don't hear a lot of people saying, oh, I'm going to grab Bitcoin on the dip, right? That's not being talked about at the local Dunkin' Donuts. I don't hear that, right? Eventually one day, probably when it's like 180K, And I think people think Bitcoin will appreciate faster than it does over time. There's just a lot of rumors. So, I mean, to me, it's starting to set up a possible head and shoulder pattern. And then that could take you even further down to about $89,000, $86,000, right? That would take us some weeks, December of 2025. I'm just trying to see this out, right? Boom, boom, boom. 2026. A bear market. I don't know. It's weird. It would take its time, right? I mean, and where's 2028, the next halving? There's your halving right there, 2028. Crazy. Soon it will be 2 years, 2 years away. It's just weird. 2.5 years. It's just, you always wait. The last halving was very interesting. Waiting for it, going into it, because it was like after all the halvings, it was the first one I really had been in Bitcoin for so long, and you see the halving, and very strange, right? How price reacted. I think it dumped the day of the halving. Has 2 friends call me yesterday, XRP. They don't do crypto. Something happening. I hear something about XRP for retail. Retail loves XRP. They seem to talk about it all the time. They seem to bring it up. Whenever I came to Sarasota, met a few people that knew nothing about crypto. 3 people, in fact. A 19-year-old, his dad, and then another guy with a family. All 3 of them had bought an XRP. So, and they didn't really know much about crypto, but they're like, oh, I got some XRP, though. So very interesting times, and it definitely seems like retail is all about that XRP. So to me, there was a breakout, fake out. Looked like we were going to get a mean move to the upside. They knew this was a rising wedge, the inverted head and shoulder. It has to all be like, and then they printed a bearish engulfing candle, which signaled no way. Then we closed outside on the 5-day, and now another bearish candle closes. in 3 days unless some miracle happens here. 3-day chart, bearish engulfing candle, suggesting a further move to the downside for the 3-day chart, right? The daily attempting to dig in at support. So the daily now attempting another tweezer bottom. We tried that one. We tried this one. All have failed at the next resistance. This one just got to resistance and couldn't go. This one got to resistance, couldn't go. So you'd expect this just to get to resistance and fail yet again, or maybe even right there. Yeah, it would get to the right there to 110 and dip off. Like, so the daily's attempting a tweezer bottom, and this is what this is what you look for. But we've done this before. Can we get the bounce here? Did we dig in? Is it enough? Honestly, like bearishly retest, bearish retest. And remember, the measured move here is going to be this. Somewhere into this region here. So it does say you go to 104 just on the measured move alone of this Adam and Eve. It is an Adam and Eve, whether you want to believe it or not. It's just a backwards Adam and Eve, but it's there. It's there. You can even extend this, I guess. Algorithm. I mean, it would challenge 102,000. That monthly support. It breaks 102K. That's monthly support. That's a big deal. You're going to see more liquidations from there. So high probability we'll see a shake to 95. Jennifer's a realist. That's why I see her excited. When she gets excited and happy, it's good for all of us. I like to hear that. I don't hear any crypto from anyone. Yeah, I know 108K doesn't sound great and all, but, right? Shout out to Jennifer. Jennifer is just a constant supporter, and may God bless her, right? Dump, baby, dump. Sitting slay, dry powder to buy the blood. Amen. Rating some people's comments are funny, reality or negative. Yeah, life is great, man. So there's a chance we dig in. So that's the bearish scenario. This continues lower. We fight out, we somehow try to bounce here for a giant double bottom. It's not the end of the bull run. It looks like it though, right? So again, I'm not saying it is. I'm keeping my chips in. If I said it was the end, I'd sell it all and move in. I'm not doing that, right? So bounce here on the daily, right shoulder, and we can dig on out. Like, to me, there is a way out. Probably would take about a week or two till September 6th or 7th till we really find our way out of here. But that's what's likely going to happen tomorrow night with the monthly candle and the weekly candle close as well. Today I teach class the last Saturday of every month, everybody. I'm going to be teaching class right now. So if you want to jump on into class right there, hit the QR code to find out more, or hit the link below to jump into class. There still may be time. If you email my wife, cryptolifers@gmail.com, there's still time. But it's about 8 minutes, so it's getting close. As long as Bitcoin is above the 50-week moving average, it's fine. I mean, it's okay. And as long as we're above the daily 200 moving average, we're all right too. Yeah. That may be the greatest shakeout, fake out ever, considering where the industry with regulation, we really are poised for great things. It's true. That's what everyone keeps thinking, but that's what they do. They make this big noise of news to make you talk and chatter while they dump the price action. And so you're reading all this stuff saying it's going to be great. Regulation's coming. It's my way. I've been there before so many times. That's why I don't listen to any of the nonsense. I just look at the charts. You don't want to get caught up speculating on what you think is happening in the real world. They're going to create a reality that when you begin to speculate with, you're going to be just as lost as they want you to be. No matter how good you think you are at analyze, because you're going to be analyzing the analyzing, and they've trust me, they'll take you down a rabbit hole. So can we get can this candle close here? That's what we're looking for. So I go to the 12-hour and the 22. I start looking at the moving averages. Still up below the 200 moving average. Tough, right? All of them took a beat down. Now you got to look for some divergence here on the 4-hour time frame. It's kind of like that is slightly up while that's slightly down. So there's a little bullish div. You are oversold on the stochastics RSI there. So it's, Thing about this is it just looks more and more like a bear flag, right? but it's an ascending triangle. We're going to look at it. So this is a possible, and there is a bullish div here. There's a bullish divergence on the RSI. As the RSI swings up, there's a bullish divergence on the SRSI, stochastic, and it's been marked there. We've had it before, though, and it just really didn't give us too much. It gave us a push, but only into resistance. So we've got to break back above 109,000. Use that as support. I remember yesterday or Thursday night and the weekly screen share, shoulder, head, right shoulder was identified. Bang. And then that crazy pump out of nowhere, right, with the 8:30 news, it was on Friday, and then the dump came right from that high. And boom. Now we have a bullish div attempting to dig in with a higher low. And you can kind of see this whole story in volatility, which also to me looked like a bear flag that got rejected by the 200 moving average. Right? I couldn't believe the 1 hour, if the 1 hour gotten above this 200 moving average, we were about to get lit. Many times when I see us, hanging out like that, that was crazy too. Pretty good fake out. Because I saw like key subtle things I never noticed and they faked them out. So whatever. I guess sometimes that can coincidentally happen. I hope somebody just blows the chart green with a single long girthy candle. I like how you said that, a girther. Can we take the status of ZBCN? Can we check the status? Yeah. And I haven't made any trades yet on anything. I'm not swing trading or touch. I'm just waiting for this opportunity when Bitcoin isn't so volatile. I mean, it's always volatile, but you know what I mean? It isn't so like gets above 108, starts to make some flags. Every time we get to a key area, it hangs out. We had a beautiful run. I mean, we had a beautiful run up from like 112 back to 124,000. But they're like short-lived in the scheme of things, and the next thing you know, we're back in the dumps again. So these can break down. Just ascending triangles are not overly bullish. They're bullish when you go up into them. Like so, explaining like when price goes up, makes a beautiful ascending triangle. Not a boom. But if price goes down, and it makes the ascending triangle, a lot of times it's going to continue down. It tends to take the formation of the pattern of the continuation, but eventually it will dig in though and stop the price action. You can say, well, it's a shoulder, head, shoulder, and we're going to reverse out of here to the upside, and there's a chance for sure. That would be awesome. This could finally mark some type of stronger bottom here, but we did it right there. Look, we did this exact thing. We did the divergence. We rolled up, we pumped, only to roll over later on. So you'll see it, a head and shoulder pattern, resistance. Like price action will tell you what's going to do. Like that was perfect, and I could see it, and I knew when we got. It's like, dang, man, we got above this everything. 124, 130,000, like the whole world. This is the crossroad to the new world. This is going back home and saying we got nothing. It's right here. We were so close to the crossroads. I'll meet you at the crossroads. You won't be lonely. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Let's take a look here at the 15-minute time frame. And that's showing some signs of life. Let's take a look at the 1 hour. The 1 hour stochastics are overbought. Not a great sign when you flagged out here. So it's up to the smaller time frames to work some magic. So what we're going to look for here is for the 15-minute to break to the 200 moving average. If it can get above there, boom, right? That's kind of what you're looking for today. And get above. Otherwise, if it keeps going sideways and the 200 comes here and then they hit in resistance, we're going to roll over. 15 minutes going to teach you what's going to happen. Smart move would be wait for a pass above the 200, the 21 to come, and to look for some type of bullish price action here in this vicinity. I got to jump, everybody, and do class. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll catch you tonight while we go over Bitcoin again at 8 p.m. to see what happened. This flag will break up or down.